Welcome back to Sports Talk is McKimmie, and we are live in Starkville, Mississippi here at the Hump. We just got done witnessing the number 18 ranked Arkansas Razorbacks coming away with a 65-61 victory. Their sixth in a row and their ninth victory in 10 games, Mike. And of course, we had talked at the halftime about how the Razorbacks and Bobby Portis was struggling in the first half with only 1 point, 4 rebounds, 5 from the field. But in the second half, Bobby Portis came up big. Michael Qualls hit some big shots down the stretch. And the difference maker, Anton Beard, stepped up and helped deliver an Arkansas Razorback victory.
What a big play. And defensively there at the end. And then, Dave, to come down there as a freshman, in a tight game, up by 6, all of a sudden, 7 seconds? The game changes from 60 to 54 to 60 to 59. All of a sudden, the game is in question. And what a big defensive play by Anton Beard. Then he goes in there and knocks down those free throws. But it wasn't over yet.
Well, the freshman who just stepped up under pressure, and to me, Mike, he looked like a senior. He finished, of course, with 11 points, but clutch defense down the stretch with a big steal that ended up leading to the Razorback victory. Bobby Portis, too, finished with 13 points and 9 rebounds, despite playing with a flu, had 12 points in the second half. And to me, this is an example. Bobby Portis having a down game, playing sick, stepped up in the second half and showed, to me, why he is the SEC Player of the Year so far.
Well, yeah, and we said it at halftime that, this is not a guy who's going to score 1 point. And, was it 1 for 5 shooting in the first half? He was 3 for 5 in the second half, and 12 points, 4 rebounds in the second half. He's just not a guy that you're going to hold down to 1 point, 3 points, 5 points. He doesn't score single digits, and he almost got, as poorly as he played, another double-double.
Well, and of course, coming down the stretch, too, some very good defensive plays down low. Landis Harris with a couple big plays.
Big charge. He took a big charge after Madden made a terrible pass.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Madden, he did make a bad pass there. However, he did finish with 16 points. He had some clutch free throws down the stretch that helped the Razorbacks get a win. It was a victory that, well, let's just say if they would have lost this game, it would have been a killer to the Razorbacks in their NCAA bid. Like you said earlier, it would have gone down as one of their key losses. Because, Mississippi State, not a real good ball club. But Arkansas, despite playing on the road with their superstar sick, managed to get a victory and a huge win on the road here at the Hump, Mike.
Eked out a victory today. They gutted out a victory today. And one of the things, when looking at the stat chart, when we look at just the starters alone, 21 out of 24 from the free throw line from the starting lineup. And we're talking about 5 out of 5 from Madden, who we've come to expect to drain his free throws. He shoots close to 90%. But Beard, 6 out of 6 from the free throw line. And there was nothing bigger than number 5 and number 6 when he went to the line. And then Qualls goes to the line. And that's where the Hogs won it at the end. They won it at the free throw line. And that's what you have to do to win on the road in the SEC. You got to hit your free throws, got to play good defense, fundamentals.
And Antoine Beard with a very Corey Beck-like performance in the second half. Coming up clutch, playing really good defense, hitting his free throws. Even though he's a freshman, he played like a senior. And the Arkansas Razorbacks, their 6th win in a row. 9 out of 10. Of course, a big week coming up next week when we take on Texas A&M and the Kentucky Wildcats. And, the Kentucky Wildcats, we haven't got the result in since we're live right now on the Wildcat game on how they did. But, Kentucky got 2 big games coming up this week. And I think we're going to give Kentucky a run for their money this week, Mike.
Well, A&M on Tuesday is going to be a big game because, today was big, as we talked about before the game, that, we needed today's win to hang on to sole possession of first place. And positions 1 through 4, and of course the higher you get, are so important to what you said about tournament seedings, and also the buys that the top 4 teams get in the SEC tournament. So Arkansas really would like that second spot, and A&M is right there at their heels at 10-4. The Razorbacks are sitting at 11-3. So it's a must-win at Bud Walton on Tuesday, and then they can just let it all hang out on Saturday, especially with a victory at home. That should give them plenty of confidence as they go into Kentucky. And at this point, when you go battle an undefeated team, what have you got to lose?
Well, yeah, Mike, I think the Razorbacks won't have anything to lose. If they can get this victory against A&M, they can play and let it all hang out against Kentucky. And I think the addition of Antoine Beard to the starting lineup, 6-1 with him in the lineup, but he seemed cool and calm under pressure. And the Hogs, despite Bobby Portis playing under the weather, managed to eke out what, the last few years was so hard to get that road victory, managed to eke out a victory that was expected from them as the number 18 team in the nation.
And now they're 6-4 on the road this year, 5-2 in the conference. So, hats off to the Hogs.
But when we come back in a minute here live in Starkville, Mississippi at the Hump, we're actually going to go ahead and talk about some of the Razorback history. We're going to go ahead. Of course, we had a Mount Rushmore segment. We had a couple segments last week talking about the Mount Rushmore of the Arkansas Razorback athletic program, and also talking about, the Mount Rushmore of, and now it just slipped my mind.
Super Bowl tandem.
The Super Bowl, yeah, Super Bowl quarterback combos. When we come back in a few minutes here on the road at the Hump, we're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas Razorback basketball players. And we're going to talk about the players at their career with Arkansas, the Mount Rushmore. When we come back here on Sports Talk is McKinney, live from the Hump on the road in Starkville, Mississippi.